If you're struggling to get into the groove of Monday, hopefully this video can make your day a little bit better because I can honestly relate to that this morning. Hello friends, happy Monday. So very excited that you're here. I was about to say happy Friday. I'm on the wrong day, but I'm very excited that you're here. I hope you had a great weekend. We have several new things to talk about, several different anime, and honestly, there is a manga license that I have seen several different people say this is one of the most iconic and important shoujo manga licenses we probably have ever got in English. So let's go ahead and jump right in, but first, I finally read the latest chapter of Magical Girl Dandelion, chapter 23, and I absolutely loved it. I missed doing it last week, shame on me, but I really enjoyed this chapter. I am amazed so much by our magical girl of just how she is able to cling to hope in a situation that even our villainess here is like, what did she say? Stupid you are. Oh my gosh, I felt like she sort of took the spotlight this chapter, the way she talked, the way she got up really upset, but I'm with her to a degree. Not that I feel our magical girl is dumb, okay, definitely not saying that, but I am again amazed of how she clings to hope in a situation that would just seem so bleak. I mean, we are on a huge scale of what this fiend is doing that I'm like, I don't know how everything's gonna be okay. I genuinely don't. We don't have any backup. There is no plan B, C, or D. This is it. And if this doesn't work, I don't know. And then with things with Shade, I'm like, Shade's looking pretty rough right now. Like, things better be okay with him as well. I think it's going to be. I will say there were two different pivotal moments I really love where we get to see how Shade and our magical girl, how they inspire and influence one another with their actions. It was great. Really enjoyed it. I took a lot of screenshots just because of how much fun I had, mainly with our villainess though. Mainly just with her because I love how she talks and it was just really fun. So very thankful I could finally talk about it. And same with this next one. We had the Seven Seas manga license on Wednesday. I don't remember us getting any shoujo. Well, there's some discourse around one, so I'm not really sure about that, and I don't want to get in any discourse with any of the licenses, but it was late Wednesday night where this new publisher called Uncivilized, when I first saw the link, it was a link to their newsletter, it wasn't even an official tweet at that time, that they are licensing the manga called Fire by Hideko Mizuno. This apparently is a very iconic shoujo manga creator. In fact, she is known as one of the forerunners to the 24 group, which I know is very iconic, makes up several big creators. And a lot of people say that Fire and her work was before its time. And this publisher is saying, we've gotten so many other iconic manga, but how do we not have the one that really, where this creator was a pioneer for the shoujo demographic? And I was completely mind blown. They even had at the time, the first 100 people who pre-ordered got 15% off their order and they got free shipping. I saw it too late and by the time I feel like I really saw it where I could have ordered, they were already sold out for the first 100. You can still pre-order, but you can't get the free shipping or, you know, the 15% off. This sounds very interesting. It is, I feel like a music manga. And honestly, you can see some previews that they had on their website. I'm not able to zoom in on them. It wouldn't allow me on their website, but it's about a young man who is from, I guess, Detroit. His name is Aaron. He ends up getting thrown into, I guess, would be sort of what we would call juvie. And when he's in juvie or somewhere in there, he meets this singer who is very much a rebel. And this rebel, I guess, really influences him, the main character, Aaron, to the point where he decides to be a musician, I guess you would say, in a large scale, not just traveling around riding on motorcycles and being part of a motorcycle gang, but I guess he gets so into the music world where they say, you know, sex, drugs, and more, that he gets into that. And so I don't really know where the series or volume goes. It is one single volume, almost 1,000 pages. I said, oh my goodness, that is very Whew, that is a lot. It is, I think, almost $50, but it does seem worth that price. I still have not ordered because anyway, there's just something that went down and I'm like, well, I have to wait to do any manga orders again. But anyway, but it will be up for pre-order until the release date, which seems to be October 14th, if I recall. So this was really, really incredible to see on a very random Wednesday night in a really random way. But it was very exciting to know just that they sold out of that 100 copies for the early bird within such a short amount of time. I truly hope that people will love it and I can log in my pre-order very soon. I really loved, I'm looking at the art again, and I really loved the pages that they had. The translation seemed good. The lettering seemed fine to me as well. But the art, man, is just very, very wonderful, very beautiful. And it's really cool to see this old art style really have a time to make a comeback, I guess you would say, and have the spotlight, and especially too with the publisher feeling very strongly about getting and bringing this to the English audience for the very first time. While they're not nearly as iconic as Fire was, K-Manga did have 2 different Shoujosei licenses, or 2 different Shoujosei titles added to their website. The first one being A Sweet Kiss After the Last Train. Now, I have not read far enough to know how this title plays a role in this series, but I did check it out, the first 2 chapters actually. Well, I say actually because I read the first chapter, really liked it, and then last I was like, you know what? I want to keep reading. This is an office romance. I wouldn't say it's a rom-com, though there were some funny moments in the first 2 chapters, and it's about a young woman who's working at this place. She sort of has like another side to her where she smokes, and somebody says that she acts like a quote-unquote bad girl when she goes off to like the balcony and smokes, so she doesn't want anybody to know her real self, sort of. Not to the same extent though as Tommen's B-side as an FYI, not to that extent, but she's very reliable. People are very dependent on her, and they're like, man, she is such a great senpai. Well, the person who trained her actually transfers to her department from another city, another place in Japan. And he's like, oh, it's my kohai. He is a very interesting male lead. I really like him a lot. He knows how to get under the female lead's skin, not in a like dangerous way or anything, but when we find out in the first chapter, for example, that her boyfriend has actually broken up with her because he felt that she didn't need him. I said, what a jerk. You should have used your words, buddy, rather than cheating on her. And that's how she found out that he was cheating, because when she goes home, there's the other woman. But she is just sort of trying to get by. She's not telling anybody what happened, but then when she's on the balcony, she's smoking non-stop. And he's like, hey, if you don't want anybody to know that you're, smoking, you need to stop. And she ends up just sobbing on his shoulder. And so it's going to be a romance between a senpai and a kohai. And I've really, really enjoyed what I've read thus far. I mean, I saw a lot of excitement for it. I had never actually heard of it before now, and I feel bad. Same as this next one. I had also never heard of it, and apparently it's serializing in the Be Love magazine, and that is Square Up for Love. I have not tried this one because I have heard it's very messy and very dramatic. It's about, though, a 20-year-old working woman, and I guess she has 2 different people that she really likes, and so she's trying to make the impossible decision of who does she choose. I have seen screenshots shared online. I feel like I am leaning towards one of the guys because he seems really great. I don't know what the other guy looks like though, so I sort of feel bad saying that. I guess it's some obvious biasness on my part, but he just seems like a fun character, and I guess that is just going to be a really messy love triangle. I don't know if the 2 guys are aware. The one screenshot I did see, I have no idea from what chapter, it did seem like the guy that I'm rooting for is aware that she has feelings for the other guy too. He is just putting a stop to it, or at least trying to put a stop to it, not in a bad way, because it involved food in this specific scene and him making food. One of the guys thought she made it for him when actually the guy that I'm rooting for made it instead. And so he makes the comment, the guy that cooked it is like, you're never going to be able to try our food. I said, I said, okay, buddy. Okay, but that was honestly one of the scenes that had me excited. I'm like, I'm rooting for you. I guess if you enjoy messy stories, this is one you could go check out. Though for this next one, it's not a new license or anything. It is of my physical unlicensed faves because they are released digitally, and that's why I'm bringing it up, because on Manga Plaza, they're actually having a sale where you can read the first 3 chapters for free, and you can get chapter 4 for 99 cents. I do have a first impression, but I guess I should tell you the title. That is A Marriage of Lies with a Wolf Prince. Here is the first impression. I'll leave it linked in the corner. I really, really enjoyed this. This is the only series outside of Glasses with a Chance of Delinquent that I am buying the Japanese volume volumes physically, and I was buying the Japanese volumes even before I had read the manga in English. I have loved it. If you're a fan of political marriage turn very wholesome and sweet between the leads, but the male lead has a dangerous edge to him, but he loves his girl, yes. Yeah, also cute little dogs. Also cute little dogs. I still have not read volumes 2 and 3. I think volume 4 might be on Manga Plaza. I loved it so much that I'm just struggling that it's the exact same thing that happened with Love and Understanding. I read volume 1, I loved it. I bought the volumes digitally as it was releasing, but I didn't read them for like 2-3 years. And then when we got the physical license, or physical announcement, excuse me, then I went and I started binge reading the entire series. I hope, fingers crossed, that this will be the same kind of scenario that happens, that I can buy them and then they're gonna get physically licensed. That would be absolutely amazing. Also though, if you're a fan of novels and maybe a fan of villainous and maybe a little bit of fan of zombies, yes, what a trio, right? Well, Cross Arts came out and said that the abandoned villainess became a zombie, that chapter 1 is now serializing on Manga Plaza. And I think since this tweet, I know I've seen one for chapter 2, maybe chapter 3. So if you've been on the fence, because I know that they are doing like a special edition that you can pre-order on their website, because there was something, I guess, going down with their website where people couldn't order things, and Cross Arts did a statement saying that they have fixed that now. So if you wanted to try the novel first, then you go on Manga Plaza, read the first chapter. I believe too, yes, even in the tweet following this one that they have, like the one that I shared, they do have another tweet with sample pages. So if you want to also just get a sample, a taste of how their translation is, I am very excited for this because I just think it's such an interesting premise idea to have a villainess with a zombie like that, just in the same title. That is just really interesting to me. I have not tried it out yet though, but I have it bookmarked just for myself so that I can. Now let's talk about a little bit of Japanese manga news here. So if you're a fan of You Might As Well Be the One, this has gotten licensed physically in English. It's also on K-Manga. Well, I found out volume 6 is going to be releasing, I think, in the next 2 weeks. Not only that, there's going to be a digital deluxe edition, and this apparently is going to have like a mini art book as well as a new short story talking about the leads, I guess, whatever happened on Halloween. So if you're a fan of this series or you love the art of this series, I guess I would definitely recommend checking out the digital edition of volume 6. Again, that's the digital of the Japanese volume, not the English volume. I think maybe we're up to volume 2 with pre-orders. I have read some of volume 1 and I really liked it, though I definitely know that it's gotten a lot more messier based off of spoilers I've seen online. I would love to keep reading it, but I'm sort of debating, do I let it end and then binge read it, or do I get the volumes and let them pile up and then read it that way? I don't really know. I haven't really made a decision about what I'm going to do, but I did think it really cool that we did get a digital deluxe edition because that feels really rare. Though this next one, I'm excited and sad at the same time. I happened to come across that the volume 3 of Twisted Wonderland, the manga, the Book of Savannah Claw, that the series has concluded at 3 volumes and that volume 3 is available right now in Japan. You can see several different pictures of it being in stores and everything. I am very curious to see how this series will wrap up. Hopefully before the year ends that we will get the latest volume in English. There has been, I should have taken a picture of it talking about this. I don't know if I have the tweet saved. I know I didn't bookmark it. I should have though, but I did see in passing, and even earlier this year, somebody was saying if you go on, I think it's Penguin Random House, you can see that it has the entire, all the volumes of Disney Twisted Wonderland, that it has all the volumes up for pre-order, and it seems the exact same. Like when you look at the details, the description, the specifications, they're all the exact same of what Viz Media has, but it's being released under a different imprint. That I know of, none of the series has been taken down by Viz Media. Like you can still go out and go get it, that I know of. Hopefully that has not changed. So I'm hoping that there's not going to be any issues with volume 3, the Book of Savannah Claw, like releasing, because I feel like where it ended at volume 2 was really good. So I just wanted to mention, if you're a fan of the series, you can know that the final volume has released in Japan, and that hopefully at some point, again within the next year, that we too, us English reading fans, can also see how the series wraps up. Hopefully it wraps up and ends on a very strong note, but I did want to leave like the Japanese news section on a happy note, because I did mention in my top 5 Wednesday video last week of purple covers that I featured Glass with a Chance of Delinquent. I think it was like volume 3, I think it was, because the English cover inverted the colors and did yellow as the main background and then purple. So with that said, volume 11, we have the official cover reveal, the Japanese edition. Oh my goodness, look at it. I love this red. I think Ichikura and Momo look wonderful. I love the pose that they have. I don't know, it fits. I feel like red is Ichikura's color. I don't know if I have felt that way before now, but when I saw it, I said, yes, it's everything. I absolutely love it. I know I could have put this later in with the cover reveals near the end of the video, but I just wanted to put it, you know, earlier in the video and feature my faves. I said we're gonna do last for the faves because it's just a beautiful cover and it just makes me happy, and especially coming off of Savannah Claw ending, I'm like, it just made sense in my mind. Gotta have all the happiness. But let's talk about some anime. There were several different, well, one of them was a little bit old. I didn't realize it came out back in March. Yeah. But this one, though, was a new anime adaptation announcement. I believe the series is a shoujo, though we do have the light novel currently ongoing from Cross Infinite World. That is Dinners with My Darling, How the Former Monster King Ate Her Way to Happiness. I am so excited that we are getting anime of this because the manga is available on Manga Plaza, and a friend of mine spoke very highly of it. She really enjoyed it. I have wanted to read it for a good hot minute because of just how interesting it has sounded. And I didn't realize actually when I was reading the blurb, because the female lead, she is told on the, I think it's like on her marriage night, the male lead's like, I'm not in love with you. She sort of freaks out, but not probably for your typical reason of like, what's gonna happen to me? What will my status be here? How are people gonna treat me? She's been untreated very fairly all of her life, but she's really concerned about her meals, of where is she going to get her meals from? What's going to happen with her food? Will she be able to eat? Apparently in that, when I was reading about it, she in her previous life was a demon lord, and something happens though where the male lead just becomes smitten with her, so much so that he enjoys feeding her. And I said, okay, it gives me some Past the Monster Meet Me Lady vibes, which that one was very fun. It got a little less fluffy, and that's all I wanted was just fluff. So I'm hoping that this manga, this series can deliver and just give me a bunch of fluff. I don't need any politics or anything. I just want the fluff. I mean, I guess if it goes a little bit more political, let me know, because that will be a good heads up for me, and just knowing that. So I guess maybe too, even if you haven't watched or read Past the Monster Meet Me Lady, if you just like foodie anime, I think hopefully maybe this will be it. This is our second shoujo anime we've gotten that's in like the past few months that's been about food, because we talked about the other one, it's the Arvine manga, or excuse me, anime. That looks really good, and that's all about food as well. So maybe there's like a trend here. We don't have any, I don't think they confirmed anywhere of when this will be releasing, just that it has an adaptation, anime adaptation that is coming. Though this next one, I think this one was pretty out the blue. Like, I don't even remember if I saw any leaks for it. It was just like, hey, here's this anime coming from Cloverworks, and that is the Case Files of Biblia Bookstore. I will leave a link to the PV in the corner. I really feel like it didn't say much about this anime. I mean, it looks pretty, but listen, I am not familiar enough with anime to know what series Cloverworks have done, but a lot of people said this is their first shoujo anime that they're doing, which is really exciting. So if you're a fan of this production studio and you've been waiting, I guess this will be your time. When I was looking up about what this series is about, it's based off of a light novel, but it does have a josei manga, and it seems to be about our female lead who loves books. I would say obviously, if it's called, where it has the bookstore in the title, but she loves books, loves reading vintage, and she, I guess, has a really good sense of like logical deductions, so much so that somehow she gets woven into these mysteries and can help solve these cases because of this ability, and maybe just her knowledge based off of things that she has read. She does seem to have like a sidekick, and I thought interesting that he doesn't seem to really like books. So I would be curious, and I'm assuming that's the person we meet in the PV, because we don't really see her except for her reading, but we do see a guy come into the bookstore. So I'm curious of how did they meet and how are they a duo if he doesn't like books, but she does love books. We also got a new key visual for it, and I think it looks really, really pretty. But I'll be staying tuned to hear more. Hopefully we'll have a little bit more of the PV of actually getting to meet the characters, because that's what I'm most curious about. And I can imagine that if it's coming 2027, we will hear more details very soon, though I was so glad we finally got more details about this one. I guess in the sense where we got a new PV, and that's My Stepmother and Stepsisters Aren't Wicked. Oh my goodness, I love the PV so much of this. I'll leave it linked in the corner, and if you're curious about anything I'm talking about today, I will also leave it linked down below. But I loved it. I've read the maybe first 3-4 volumes of this series, and it is inspired by Cinderella, where the female lead, her mother passes away and everything, and she has to go live with her stepfamily, and she is prepared herself that things are going to be really bad, that she's going to be hated, but she gets there, and her stepsisters and her stepmom absolutely love and adore her. So much so, and you can see this in the PV, that the stepsisters actually fight over her to win her attention and just shower her with love. I mean, you can see it in the PV a little bit, but in the manga, you definitely see it where the stepsisters are arguing, they're all up in their feelings, and the stepmother just throws back the doors, comes in, like, what are you doing? No, I want her to do this instead, and it could sound like she's really mean, but she's doing it because she loves the main Cinderella-like character, and so it's just a very comedy slice of life, feel-good vibes about this family that may not seem that they would be as close as they are, but how they grow closer. It was very, very fun, and I love how everybody sounds, and I also love the key visual that we got. It is going to be coming this July, and I'm very excited because I think it's going to be a very fun one, and I'm very bummed that I didn't continue it, not because I didn't like it anymore, just came down to budgeting things, and I should have just kept my copies, but I'm very bad if I keep things, and I'm like, oh, I have to keep collecting it, so I just ended up unhauling it. But yeah, I definitely would recommend this one, especially this other PV that we got as well, and that's Victoria of Many Faces. Shout out to the person who told me or asked me, did you see the new PV? Because no, apparently I had not until I went on the anime Twitter page to go find it. I really, really enjoyed this PV a lot. I'm very excited. Honestly, I'm more excited for people to discover this series for the very first time through the animation. I did have a video review last month of the first 3 volumes of how much I enjoyed being back with these characters. It's a very special series, so if you're curious of my thoughts on that, you can check out my video review. I had no spoilers. I had nothing but wonderful, fantastic things to say, and I really, really love this new key visual we got. It's so beautiful. The family vibes are just, I love it. I feel like it really beautifully captures this series, and I mean, the PV did as well, and I cannot get over just how Victoria sounds because it matched the voice in my head. Yeah, if I didn't say it already, I believe this is coming in July, or it is, but I don't remember if I said it already. Sorry, get caught up in my excitement here. But I cannot wait, y'all. I cannot wait. So several good things that are coming this year. And of course, there's going to be more when it comes to manga because we have several cover reveals. We're going to start off with Eyes Press, and that is A Minute of the Harem Volume 7. And look, I have read some of Volume 1, and I cannot remember if I've met this character, but he looks sus to me. I'm like, this guy does not look like a good guy, even though I really, really like how Red, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Red like that, but I don't know, this cover I think is one of my recent favorites that I've seen so far. The Red just brings, I don't know, this vibe out about him, and I truly hope that he is a good guy. I mean, I almost said a spoiler about a different character, but hopefully he's a good guy. I'm not really sure if he's part of the harem or not. If he is, I haven't actively met him yet, and I have been encouraged to come back to the series and start reading further than what I read because it gets just better and better. This is by the same team that did the Remarried Empress, and I absolutely love that, though I can't remember if it's the same creator that worked on it or like the same creator of the story or not, but I just know it's by the same team that did the Remarried Empress, so, and that was fantastic. The other Eyes Press volume that they had that they, for the cover they revealed is Beware the Villainess Volume 8, and y'all, I love this cover of Melissa. So beautiful. Honestly, this cover, and then one that the artist shared about a certain scene, because I think they're in the bonus stories right now for the manhwa in Korea. I was like, I need to come back. I need to come back. I read Volume 1, really enjoyed it the first time I read it. I came back the second time I read it physically, and I was just so fed up with all the men up in this series. Like, oh my gosh, they're trash. They're trash. If you've ever read it, you know, except for the love interest, who I have not actually met. So I am hoping, very much hoping, that my library has a series and that I could read it for my villainous event later this year. But I love, yeah, this cover of Melissa. She's just so gorgeous, y'all. She's just so gorgeous. And then we also had a cover reveal from Crossed Hearts of Darling, Why Don't We Divorce Volume 2. Really like this one. I'm still not a huge fan of the font choice that they have, but the art just looks so beautiful, and I love how we just have both guys on the cover, because from what I recall of this is she's trying to more or less woo, I say it with quotes, the prince on the right who's just not having it, and her husband, he is sort of like a villain-like character in this world, or seems to be, but he is really starting to love his wife, and he don't want to let her go. And it's causing problems for her because I think they had some kind of agreement, I believe, in the first volume that he knows that she's trying to win over the prince for her own reasons. And then last but not least, we have 3 different cover reveals from Viz Media. The first one being Otoku Vampire's Love Bite Volume 8. And I love this cover, even though our male lead, he doesn't look none too happy at all. But that's okay. That's okay. He'd be going through the ringer from what I've seen in the series. I am behind this one. I think I'm good. I think I'm like Volume 4, actually. I need to catch up on that. I need to catch up. But yeah, his expression cracks me up. And I really love the cover. Same as this next one. We have The King's Beast, Volume 18, the limited edition, which I believe comes with a mini art book. Really amazing that Shoujo Beat is giving us this. Well, Shoujo Beat / Viz. The art here for this cover is absolutely stunning. Just so very beautiful. I was hoping that they would like showcase something about the bonus goodie that's coming with it and maybe like how the cover of that one looks. Yeah, last but not least, Daydream Darling Volume 1. Very, very excited. I love how they did the font for this with the sparkles. I cannot wait to read this. This is definitely one of my most anticipated releases of this year. I know I didn't really connect with Sakura Saku as much, but that does not stop my excitement for this one. I really think I'm gonna like it. I've had several, or at least one good friend that has said like, hey, you will love this. I've loved everything I've definitely seen of it, like all the pages and different things that Yosaki Saka has shared online, so I cannot wait. And I had to finish with that one because I was just like, yes, it comes out in, August. I feel like August will be here before I know it, honestly, because it's hard to believe it's already May, but hopefully you saw plenty that you are excited for in this video. I am very hyped that we have so much good anime that is coming, and goodness, so much manga as well, but I would love to hear from you. What caught your eye or made you most excited? Let me know down below, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!